All right, let's go to the second. This is something our producer, Griffin, reminded us of. And the more I think about it, I can't get over it. Prince Harry, of course, is in the news. There's all these discussions about how he lost his virginity to an older woman, how he got into an altercation with Prince William, whether or not he called the royal family racist. Nobody apparently is focusing on the most insane part of his interview and of his book, where he admits and discusses killing 25 people in Afghanistan. Let's get to it.
I was able to focus on a purpose larger than myself, to be wearing the same uniform as everybody else, to feel normal for the first time in my life, and accomplish some of the biggest challenges that I ever had. I was training to become an Apache helicopter pilot. You don't get a pass for being a prince.
The Apache doesn't give a crap about who you are.
No, there's no Prince autopilot button that you can press and just takes you away. I was a really good candidate for the military. I was a young man in my 20s, suffering from shock, but I was now in the front seat of an Apache, shooting it, flying it, monitoring 4 radios simultaneously, and being there to save and help anybody that was on the ground with a radio, screaming, "We need support, we need air support." That was my calling. I felt healing from that.
So let's get now to the actual excerpt from his book where he discusses killing 25 people. Let's put it up there on the screen. Our graphics team made an excellent one here. And he says, quote, "While in the heat of fog and combat, I did not think of those 25 as people. You can't kill people if you think of them as people. You can't harm people if you think of them as people. They are chess pieces removed from the board, bads taken away before they could kill goods. I'd been trained to otherize them, trained well. On some level, I recognized this learned detachment as problematic, but I also saw it as an unavoidable part of soldiering." Now, he's probably right about that, Krystal, but it seems like one of those things that somebody should just really never say, especially whenever they're in a prominent position, because, as predicted, his flippant discussions here aren't just damaging the royal family, they're actually causing problems for the British Army and for Afghanistan. So put this up there. There's actually been mass anger and protest that broke out in southern Afghanistan after Prince Harry specifically talked about killing 25 people. He's even been, quote, clapped back by Taliban spokespeople who are like, our soldiers were not simply chess pieces and pawns that were on the board. And then actually in the UK, people who are in the British military are denouncing Prince Harry, saying this is not how we teach our soldiers to behave while they're in combat. This is not the way that somebody who served in combat should be speaking about it. You're not talking about it in a respectful way, like you're actually denigrating the service that was made at the time. And actually, it belies some crazy kind of war propaganda that also happened at the time in the UK, where Prince Harry and William were like genuinely hailed as heroes. And it was one of the ways that the war effort was sold to the British public. So anyway, all of this put together, the point is that him flippantly talking after his mushrooms trip about, 25 people getting killed and all that is being totally ignored by the media.
Yeah.
And the actual problems that he was now causing for the British military in this entire, I find the whole thing just kind of insane because I literally checked the Daily Mail and all that this morning. It's all just about Prince Harry and whether Meghan effectively called them racists or did not call them racist or not. I'm like, look, I guess I care about some of that, but like not even close to, an actual geopolitical problem that the prince has now created here.
I mean, the words here, to go back to them, are truly disturbing. You can't really harm people if you think of them as people. They were chess pieces removed from the board. Bads taken away before they could kill goods. I'd been trained to otherize them, trained well. And, at this point, we know how many Afghan civilians, including children, were murdered during our occupation of Afghanistan. And it was, I'm sure, enabled by exactly this type of mindset and type of thinking where, a lot of this would be different neighbors have a grievance and they go, oh, this one's Taliban. And then next thing you know, you're doing a night raid and killing some family on our way out, which I supported the withdrawal from Afghanistan, as did you. We advocated for it here, even though we took a lot of heat and, backed Biden on it. But on their way out, in order to show their tough guy credentials, they do this final drone strike on what was supposed to be this terrorist, militant, etc. Turns out it was an aid worker and his family and his young babies in the middle of a busy residential area in Kabul. So we know that this fairy tale that he's continuing to tell here about how, oh, well, I only murdered bads that were taken away before they could hurt the goods is complete and utter bullshit. The fact that it just goes by without a care shows you that it's not just, people like Harry who were trained to otherize Afghani civilians. It's the entire media. It's the entire, U.S. public, UK public, etc.
It's like you should not be talking so flippantly about this, especially in a public, and bragging about it then on national television. And look, just to give you guys a taste of like how this is really being received, put this up there on the screen. These are all the major takeaways for most of these people. Prince Harry says the UK royals got into bed. Yeah, him literally calling Prince Charles's wife, the Queen Consort Camilla, quote, the villain. Prince Harry says his abusers he still hopes to reconcile with, accuses the royal family of being complicit in Meghan's pain and suffering, and Anderson Cooper asking him about Meghan Markle and reconciliation with the royal family. Like, this is the actual important part, and a while ago, you would think that it probably would have caused a stir. So anyway, this is what the tabloid press is focused on, all of the wrong stuff. Like, this to me is the absolute top takeaway, especially given the fact that it's causing problems, that the people in the British military are very pissed at him for talking this way and actually almost encouraging this type of like machismo behavior in the way that you talk about conflict afterwards. And then in Afghanistan itself, also causing mass protests after it. So it's a funny episode, and it just shows you, like, for some reason, the stuff that they go for is like the least consequential, when, anyone watching that is like, oh my, wait, hold on a second, what? Also, what with Anderson Cooper, you're like, he's like, I mean, look, Apaches are cool. I'm not going to deny it. As a helicopter, and the people who fly them are legitimately impressive. But he probably should have asked a couple more follow-up questions.
Chuckling along.
Yeah, about the mission, being like, well, are you sure who you killed? Like, did you ever do an after-action thing? Like, did you find out about what exactly it was? What do you think about the withdrawal from Afghanistan? Instead of, the rest of the crap that they end up focusing on.
Yeah.
Just classic.
Indeed. Hey guys, ready or not, 2024 is fully upon us now, and Saagar and I have been brainstorming ways that we can really up our game for this critical election.
Yeah, we rely on our premium subs to expand our coverage, to add staff, to upgrade the studio. We just want to give you the best independent coverage of this election, which is possible. So if you can help us out, become a premium subscriber today, breakingpoints.com, or the link is down here in the description video. It really means the world to us, and if you like what we're all about, this is the best possible way to keep us 100% independent, working only for you.